Hi, I'm Ali Walter, and this is my final evaluation for Unit 6, Specialist Creative Outcome in 3D Game Asset Evolution and Technical Progression. In this project, I focused on advancing my 3D modelling skills by recreating a Western-style barn using professional industry workflows. I placed my project within the context of 3D environment art for video games, which is an area I want to pursue in the future. I drew inspiration from studios like Rockstar Games and CD Projekt Red. My main goal was to follow 8AA industry workflows, including modular modelling, LOD optimisation, and PBR texturing. I considered ethical practice by avoiding any use of copyrighted materials and created everything from scratch. Sustainability was also important to me, so I stuck to fully digital processes to reduce physical waste. Culturally, I explored 19th century American architecture to ensure that the barn felt authentic and well-researched within its historical context. I chose this project because I wanted to see how far I'd progressed since Unit 2, where I first built a simple 3D house with no texturing knowledge. My original idea evolved from making a full game demo to focusing entirely on a high-quality 3D environment asset pack. This allowed me to go deeper into technical processes and polish my work. My subject aligns with my future ambition to work in environment art and game design, and this project acted as a stepping stone towards that path. I used both primary and secondary research to deepen my understanding of 3D environment art. My primary observations came from exploring real-world architecture, like weathered barns and Norwich Cathedral, and experimenting with materials such as aged wood and rusted metal. These hands-on studies helped me understand how to replicate realistic surface details in my own models. I used secondary research such as watching developer talks and breakdowns on UV unwrapping, trim sheets, and baking techniques to give me insight into professional workflows. I was inspired by the approaches used in games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and The Witcher 3. These influences, along with feedback from my asset design survey, shaped my priorities around realism, reusability, and performance. Throughout this project, I explored and developed a full professional 3D asset pipeline using Blender for modelling, Substance Painter for texturing, and Unreal Engine 5 for rendering. I began with high poly sculpts and adapted them into low poly models, then unwrapped UVs and baked normal, roughness, and ambient occlusion maps. These processes were essential for achieving high visual quality while keeping the assets game ready. I was particularly interested in PBR texturing and modular design, as they brought realism and flexibility to my environment. LOD creation and performance optimization were more challenging, but learning these techniques gave me a better understanding of how professional studios approach asset creation. Overall, the skills I developed were valuable to my goal of creating professional-level game assets. I encountered several challenges that required problem-solving to keep progressing. One of the main issues was with UV unwrapping and managing textile density. Early tests showed visible texture stretching. To resolve this, I revisited tutorials, refined my UV layouts, and improved the overall consistency of my maps. Another significant challenge was time management, particularly underestimating how long sculpting and texturing would take. I adapted by adjusting my timeline and simplifying some assets. Online resources were important in helping me troubleshoot efficiently, showing how research influenced my ability to solve technical problems effectively. I chose to focus on storytelling through texture and visual detail to give my final asset a strong sense of place and history. Techniques like adding weathering, chipped paint, and cracks in the wood were intentionally used to communicate age, wear. These methods supported my goal of creating a believable Western-style environment. This approach was influenced by games like Red Dead Redemption 2, where every asset feels lived in and purposeful. By prioritizing authenticity and detail, I aimed to engage players emotionally and enhance immersion, which made the asset not just realistic, but meaningful to the intended audience. I used a range of presentation strategies, including turntable renders, before and after comparison slides, and a final PowerPoint portfolio to clearly communicate both the creative and technical development of my work. I have also created this video evaluation to demonstrate my process and final outcome clearly. I also developed a personal brand to support my presentation. This included designing a custom logo, creating a business card to distribute at the Norwich Games Festival, producing marketing materials, and building an itch.io portfolio page to publicly showcase my assets and attract potential opportunities. At the start of this project, my main objectives were to measure how far I'd progressed since earlier units, particularly Unit 2, and to push my skills in professional 3D environment creation. I wanted to see noticeable improvement in both technical execution and artistic quality. Throughout the project, I reflected on my progress using weekly development logs and visual comparisons, which helped me stay on track and adapt when needed. Comparing my final asset to my original barn model made that growth clear. This process has strengthened my confidence, clarified my artistic direction, and improved my ability to work professionally. Thank you for watching my final evaluation. This project has been one of the most challenging but rewarding parts of my creative journey so far, and I'm proud of what I've achieved.